What is happening, guys? Welcome back to Rule of Two Review, and today we're going to talk about that sweet Nintendo Super Bowl marketing. Okay, so by now, we've all seen Nintendo's Nintendo Switch Super Bowl ad that is going to be premiering this coming Sunday during the big game, which I am super excited for, not because I like the Patriots or the Falcons, but because I'm expecting pretty good football out of that, and we're hosting a pretty sweet party. So we're going to be drinking and eating and playing Smash Brothers and watching football, and it's going to be fantastic. And one of the things we all know that we can expect, apparently, is this brand new ad for the Nintendo Switch that Nintendo is going to be airing, I believe, during the third quarter. So everyone and their mom at this point has already talked about this advertisement from Nintendo. Everyone's discussing it. It's really great. It looks fantastic. It's very smart for Nintendo to do this. There is the 30-second version of the ad that is going to air during the Super Bowl, and there's also an extended ad, which was actually shared to me like probably 2 or 3 days ago from some of the podcast guys that I do the podcast with every Monday. And it was like, I want to say around 2 minutes long. And it was great. I mean, it was certainly fantastic. We've been joking a little bit because, you know, full disclosure, I hate the song in the commercial, mostly because I really do not like the band Imagine Dragons, and everyone's giving me so much shit. I keep giving Imagine Dragons a bunch of shit, and I stand by that. I don't really like that band. I haven't paid attention to the lyrics of the song. Apparently, the lyrics are very appropriate for what the Nintendo Switch is, and that's fine and dandy. But I'm a musician, man, and musicians, we don't pay attention to lyrics. We don't care about that. We're listening to the music. That being said, make no mistake, I do think the advertisement itself is freaking sweet. It looks great. It seems very smart. I like what's actually in the commercial and the message that Nintendo is working with. Whether or not I like the music really doesn't have anything to do with the actual commercial itself. I think it's actually really, really great. So like I said, everyone has talked about this. Everyone seems really pumped about what Nintendo's doing, and that's very exciting to see. I'm very, very glad to see everyone riding this marketing train for Nintendo saying, this is very smart, this is great. And what I wanted to do was quickly share my thoughts on what I think it means that Nintendo is making this decision with this specific commercial and to air it during the Super Bowl. So the bottom line is that I think this whole scenario really speaks to what Nintendo is trying to accomplish with the Nintendo Switch and with its new business model moving forward. This is kind of building off of a premise that I laid out in a video many months ago, way back in like the middle of the main NX hype and the NX fervor and all the rumors and everything. And I made a video discussing if the failures of the Wii U might have been convincing Nintendo to make smarter decisions. Basically, the Wii U's failure leading to a better Nintendo because of it. And there's so many reasons why it seems like that has been coming true, just when you look at what the Nintendo Switch is, how they initially revealed it, the fact that they're doing all of these hands-on events. The launch lineup, of course, is a little bit suspect, except for what could potentially be one of the best games ever made with Zelda Breath of the Wild. And there is definitely some questions about how it's going to play out throughout the year. I'm excited for a lot of titles, but some people are a little bit questionable of what the lineup looks like throughout 2017, at least until Mario Odyssey comes out, and I do at least understand why. But still, so many signs have been pointing to basically my theory having potentially been correct, that Nintendo is working to make up all of the lost ground that they lost with the Wii U, and they learned, okay, this thing and this thing and this thing and this thing and this thing didn't work with the Wii U. These didn't catch on. These were the mistakes we made. This is why the system failed. So how do we just undo this? Well, let's do the opposite of all of those 5, 6, 10, 100 things, however many things Nintendo feels like they did wrong with the Wii U. And that is the best way for any business to correct itself, to course correct and become a stronger, better company and more successful with its next product. When we look at specifically this advertisement and the fact that they're airing it during the Super Bowl, to me, this is one of the strongest pieces of evidence to proving this case, I believe. Because the commercial itself is just another great advertisement coming from Nintendo. We saw what the Switch reveal trailer was, and everyone praised and lauded that trailer, and for good reason. It was a great little 3-minute summation introducing the world to what Nintendo's new product is, their new console, what it can do, a tiny little glimpse into some of the games that we know we can expect. It was all very exciting. Look at these controllers, look at the portability, look at the screen, look at the TV play, look at Skyrim. I'm on a plane, I'm in an airport, I'm in a car, I'm playing basketball. All of these things, and everyone bought into it and everyone understood it immediately. And as many people pointed out, and this is something I do agree with, even though some of my really good friends I think don't necessarily agree with this, I think it was smart for them to choose to purposely not showcase young kids, at least in that initial trailer. At some point, that has to become some of their marketing because that is Nintendo, and that's a huge market, and I do absolutely accept that. But with that first trailer, I think it was smart for them to not bring that into the fold. This new trailer and this Super Bowl advertisement, to me, is just kind of building off of that same concept. It's very similar in tone. It seems very geared towards the more mature, older sort of gamer and the adult that understands how they want to game within the context of their real world and real life responsibilities in daily life. And I think that that is very smart because that's certainly who I am, and that's who a lot of my friends are. In fact, that's who all of my friends are. I don't know any damn kids. That's who all of my friends are, and that's who I know a lot of you out there are as well. So Nintendo making a conscious decision and effort to advertise to those people is them reaching out and saying, hey, we're advertising not only to the Nintendo fans who already believe in us and want to support us, but all of these other gamers who don't believe in us, don't support us, or maybe used to support us but left us many years ago. For most of those people, probably during the Wii and or Wii U era, and we know that. And Nintendo obviously has learned that. And when they advertise in this way, they're advertising to those people. And, of course, the other group that I try very hard not to leave out of these conversations, the non-gamers. Because we know that they've created a product with the Nintendo Switch that does appeal to people who might not even be gamers in the first place. And that is something that worked with them really, really well with the DS and with the Wii. And they're trying to recapture that with a new console that also very much appeals to us, the hardcore gamers and the hardcore Nintendo fans. Now, without a doubt, the coolest part to this whole thing, in my personal opinion, is the fact that Nintendo is paying buku bucks. We know that they are paying out their ass to get this 30-second spot during the Super Bowl, without question. The Super Bowl is the prime spot for any company's advertisement. That 30 seconds that anyone pays for is like, I don't know, probably 15, 20 million. I'm pulling that number out of my ass. Regardless, it is in the millions, so much money a company has to pay to advertise during the Super Bowl because everyone gets their eyes on it and it's a big, big deal. Now, for Nintendo specifically, it's a big deal because we have never, in my memory, in modern times, seen Nintendo advertise with a brand new product during such a high-profile event on regular television. It's a very, very big deal. And it makes me very, very excited, beyond belief, to see Nintendo taking what I think is a very strong commercial and advertisement and airing it during the Super Bowl of all things. It is a very un-Nintendo thing to do, but I think it's un-Nintendo in the best way possible and to help really brand their name, remind people Nintendo's out there, Nintendo matters, Nintendo makes great products that everyone has to own, and this is it. This is when and where you can see it during the Super Bowl. It also reminds me of a conversation that was happening, I want to say almost a year ago actually, when there was rumors that Nintendo and Electronic Arts specifically were having conversations about what to do with the then NX, how to get them on board, what are the kind of things a company like EA looks for. And at that time, and again, this was all kind of really rumor, none of this was confirmed, but it certainly felt and sounded real. And through that rumor or conversation that was happening, apparently EA had said, well, here's what we'd like, Nintendo. Here's what we would like you to do and what we kind of get from the other guys and would help us to see you do as well. We want you to bundle EA Sports games with your system potentially, like the Xbox and the PlayStation. Very often we'll have a Madden bundle where you buy a brand new Xbox One and you get a copy of Madden, or you get a copy of FIFA, or you get NBA or NHL or whatever else. You know, those kind of things are important to us, so if we see you help us in that way, we'll help you. And also they wanted to see Nintendo, again, per these rumors, they wanted to see Nintendo advertise more during primetime television broadcasts and more specifically sporting events. And it seems like if that was true and that really did happen, Nintendo has took that advice and suggestion and took it to the nth degree because they bypassed and skipped all the other sporting bullshit they could have advertised during and went right for the gold. They went right for the king shit of all king shits, and the number one way and place you could advertise your product during the Super Bowl. And here in the United States and in the West, which obviously many countries don't care about the NFL, and many countries and people who even follow me and other YouTubers don't live in the States and care about the Super Bowl. But in the United States, one of the biggest territories for the gaming industry, it's the biggest deal. It's huge that Nintendo is choosing to advertise in the West to us, myself, and people here who live in the States and eat up that NFL and sporting culture and advertise during the biggest game where you get the most eyes and the most attention. So when you combine this really awesome commercial and the tone that they've set, regardless of the really shitty song, if you take this great commercial and this great tone and you put it during the biggest sporting event with the most eyes on it in the United States, You're doing really good things, and like I said, it's something that we typically have never seen from Nintendo, but I think that this is making a very strong case to say that Nintendo is guns out, and they are guns blazing, and they are headfirst charging into this thing, and they're willing to say, we want to be aggressive, we are proud of our product, we know it's great, we know people are going to love it, we want to say, this is it, everyone check it out, buy it, and love us. That's basically what they're doing. Love Nintendo, here's when to do it, watch the Super Bowl, it's going to be great. And so I think it's a really cool thing to see. I definitely think that this potentially speaks volumes about what Nintendo is doing right now, where their head is out, and how confident and convicted they are in their messaging and with their marketing. So I'm hoping to see more stuff like this from the future, and I really hope, I don't want to get my hopes up too much, man. This is a dangerous thing for us to do. We're a little bit early into this new era of Nintendo, but I want to hope that this is a very strong sign that we're also going to get a kick-ass E3, and Nintendo is going to acknowledge and recognize that E3 is important and people do pay attention. Gamers, non-gamers, Nintendo fans, and non-Nintendo fans pay attention, and it's a great place to showcase all of the cool shit you've got coming up for the next year or two. So I think that's it. I'm going to wrap this up here, you guys. Very excited for the Super Bowl just because I love the Super Bowl, even though sadly my team, the Denver Broncos, eliminated themselves like a bunch of idiots 2 weeks before the playoffs started. But I'm still very excited because I love the Super Bowl, and now we have a Nintendo commercial to look forward to during the biggest game of the year. It's such a cool thing, man. What a crazy, awesome time we're living in. So, what do you guys think about Nintendo's ad? I know, again, every other person has talked about it, all the other YouTubers, a lot of good friends of mine, everyone's made videos discussing this new advertisement, a lot of buzz here. What do you guys think about the commercial, both the 30-second version and the longer extended version? And what do you think about the fact that Nintendo is making the bold move to advertise for the first time ever during the Super Bowl of all things? Pretty sweet. Tell me what you guys think. Thanks, of course, for tuning in. This is Rob of Rule of Two Review, and I will catch you guys next time on another video.